Here's the problem with multitasking. Multitasking is impossible. Neuroscientists and psychologists have proven that you cannot multitask. Your brain cannot do two things simultaneously. Now, I'm not talking about lower order brain functions. I'm not talking about chewing gum and walking. All right? We can handle that, I think. I'm talking about higher order brain functions. The things that require thought. I challenge any of you to carry on a proactive telephone conversation while you're reading an email. You can't do it, because your brain is using the same exact part to do both things. So what you're really doing is switch tasking. You're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No one can really multitask. What you're doing is you're doing this, shifting your attention, shifting your attention, shifting your attention, back over here, down here, over here, over here. And every time you do that, you have to reacclimate, refocus, and start over. So you're not being productive at all. And your quality of your work suffers tremendously. It decreases every moment you try to do that. It fills up our lives. It makes us feel stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, fearful. Those aren't good things. Pee daily. Now, some of you are looking at me right now saying, well, I already do this. I pee every day. You probably don't. Most people don't pee daily, because peeing is planning, executing, and evaluating. But it's easy to remember peeing. All right, I know those are fancy words, but here's what they mean. To me, the saddest word in the English language is the word someday. Someday I'll write a book. Someday I'll run that marathon. Someday I'll get out of debt. And people use that word all the time. But unless you're peeing daily, someday is not going to happen. Because it's all about the day. The power is in the day. You know, planning is like a war. Your life is like a war. And it's a long-term campaign. And it's all about the battles then that make up the war. You never win a war in one battle. It's a sequence of battles, and if you win more battles than you lose, you probably win the war. And that's what the day is like. If you can win today, or try to win today, you'll be much further along in accomplishing whatever it is you want to accomplish. But you got to be proactive about it. You have to take time every day. This is not like a weekly thing or every day to say, this is what I want to do today, hence the planning. Then I'm going to take an actual step forward. I'm going to do something. I'm going to execute. Then I'm going to take a look back and say, was that a good step? Should I have taken that step? Maybe I should have taken a different step. And you're going to assess it and evaluate it. And then tomorrow, you're going to pee again. And you're going to start this process, do it every day of your life. This is my dog, Sydney. Sydney does 4 things in life and never at the same time. She eats, plays, poops, sleeps. That's her whole life. You cannot ask for a more simple life. And the thing about Sydney is that she's happy and she's always present in the moment. You know, she's not eating and thinking about playing. She's not playing and thinking about pooping. All right? She's doing what she does. That's all she focuses on. We need to be more like Sid. We need to simplify our lives more like Sydney. Our mental power, our brains are finite. Not the capacity of what we can put in there. I believe our minds are unlimited in terms of storage. You know, recall is a different situation, but our brains are unlimited that way. But our brains are limited in terms of mental energy. What you can do in a day, what you can accomplish in a day. So here's kind of like the average life. You know, and this is what research shows. About 30% of your mental energy is just dealing with life, physiology stuff. You know, eating, sleeping, drinking, whatever else your body needs. You spend about 30% of your mental energy thinking about those things. Then you spend about 20% of your mental energy on the important stuff that really matters. You know, the project you have to get done at work, or the homework assignment you have to do, that kind of stuff. And then there's 50% of crap, meaningless crap that we throw into our minds, we use our minds on, that really is a waste of time, that literally means nothing in the big picture of things. And the goal is to flip the 50 and the 20. So you're spending 50% of your life on the stuff that truly matters. But we don't as human beings. We spend about 20. And once your brain is full, because we will fill up our brains, once they're full, you start missing things. So we're going to do some focused mathematics here. Because as part of your peeing, as part of your planning each and every day, you should be looking at life and the amount of time you spend on things like this. If you remember, I told you that all the math people out there are going, ooh, an equation. Our mental energy is finite, okay? You only have so much of it. So this is what happens. It's got a balance. If you want to increase stuff that you're doing in your life or add things that you're doing to your life, then you have to decrease things and remove things on the other side of the equation because you can't do it all. It's got to balance. Too often people keep adding and increasing without doing anything on this side of the equation, and that's when the stress happens. That's when they start dropping the ball and stuff. That's when they're not getting things done. That's when they're not focusing and they're not being successful. So here's what I suggest you do during your peeing sessions. You make a chart like this. This may seem rather rudimentary and mundane, but this seriously is a powerful tool. You make a list of all the stuff that you want to increase, that's going well for you. This is working for me. I want to do more of it. I like this kind of stuff. I want to add more to my life. That goes in the greater than column. And then there's some stuff that you wanted to do. I wanted to write that book. I want to start spending time on my life each and every day writing. So you add the writing to the plus column. Now you're going to focus time on writing. But then when you've done that, you have to look at the other side of your life that's happening right now and say, all right, do I really need to be doing this? Is this really all that important? It's kind of a waste of time. I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm kind of spending a lot of time with no positive results. Let's get rid of this. That goes in the negative column, the minus column. And then on the less than column, you look for stuff. It's like, I need to do this, but probably not so much. I spend a lot of time playing video games. It's probably not the best use of time. I don't want to not play them, but maybe not 8 hours a day every day. Maybe I should cut that back to 7 or 6 or whatever. So that goes in the less than column. And you use this as a tool every day to look and evaluate, this is how my life is going, how I need to change it. And again, this is a written exercise on paper, pen to paper. That was Tony's tip number 1. Because your brain will slow, and you'll put this stuff on paper, and it becomes a visual reminder. And the nice thing about this stuff, when you write it down, you keep it in a little notebook over your life, you've got this constant visual reminder.